Thread looping or bunching like this one here can be really frustrating to sort out, but don't you worry. In this video, I have got 6 solutions that you might want to try to get this sorted out and banished from your sewing for good. Who am I? I am Kim. This is Quilt with Kim. You, my lovely, are very, very welcome. Let's find out what the most likely reason is for your thread doing that. The most likely cause of your looping and bunching could be that your machine is not threaded correctly. So if you haven't done this already, then unthread your machine, both the top spool and your bobbin, and re-thread them, making sure that you're threading them correctly and everything is going where it should. I'll pop a couple of links to videos below that you can go and check out how to thread your machine and how to load your bobbin. If your bobbin is not loaded correctly, that can cause all manner of problems. So do make sure that it is loaded and threaded properly, whether you've got a top loading bobbin or a side loading bobbin. However, if you've threaded your machine and it is still happening, if I can get my words out, then it could be part of the threading process that you're doing. So that brings me nicely on to the number 2 reason, which is all to do with where your presser foot is. So have you got your presser foot in the right position when you thread your machine? Let me explain. It is very common to have your presser foot down when you're traveling around or when you finish sewing, and that's fine on a normal basis. However, when we have our presser foot down, it closes tension discs, and the tension discs are what we need our thread to run through to get the correct tension running when we are stitching. So we need to make sure that our tension discs are open when we are threading the machine so that the thread runs nicely in the middle of them. How do we do that? Very, very simple. When you are threading a machine, make sure that your presser foot is lifted up or it's raised, and that'll make sure that the tension discs are open, and when you thread it, your thread will go in between those tension discs. It's all in the right place, and when you're ready to sew, you'll be putting your presser foot down, can't find the lever, presser foot down, the tension discs will close onto the thread, and then it should sew properly. What is number 3 then? And that could be that the tension disc itself has been put out of kilter. Now, if you've been fiddling about with all the dials on your machines and getting a bit twirly happy with your buttons and your wheels, then it is very easy when you don't know your way around a machine to adjust the tension dial or the tension buttons. But we really need to make sure that our tension is in the correct place to stop all those loops and bunches happening. So check your tension. Is it in its normal place? Now, the default place or the normal place for your tension is normally a number 4. Not always, it depends on your machine, but normally it's a number 4. You can tell what it is because it'll be marked some way on your machine. So whether you have got a little adjustable wheel or whether you've got a little LCD window display, on either of them you will have some way that the machine tells you that it's the default place. So on this one, a dial, we've got a little line that goes from 3 to 4, and we've got another little line that goes from 5 to 4. So that tells me that the number 4 is our default tension number, and that's where it'll be to get that nice balance between the top and the bottom threads. You may find you've got it marked in red or another color, or it's got a little box around it or something like that. But either way, make sure that your tension dial or the little LCD display is set at its default position. It's very easy to push this out so it all becomes loose. Okay, so that's your tension. What's next on that checklist to stop all our loops and bunches then? The next thing I would have a look at is my needle. Now, changing needles can sort all sorts of problems out, not in your entire life, but with your sewing, definitely we can sort problems out changing the needle. If you've had a needle in there for quite a long time, it could just be old and blunt. You may not be able to see it's blunt. It may not feel it's blunt, but changing your needle can solve all sorts of issues out. So go change your needle. test that out, and we'll go and have a look at the next reason. And do stick around to the end, because I've got a solution, if none of the others work, that might work and you may not have thought about. Without any question, the most common reason that I find for my students having loops and bunches in their sewing is there is lint or fluff that's got caught underneath the base plate. Now, it could be the tiniest little bit of thread that's caught underneath here somewhere, and it will cause all manner of problems above decks with your sewing. If you've done all the other things, like you've rethreaded, you've made sure that your foot is in the right place, and you've changed your needle, then we look down here, take the base plate off. It is not scary. I'll link a video down below to show you how to do that. But if you go down here, and you'll find that there's little bits of thread kicking around, and they've got stuck in all the little places and nooks and crannies, that can cause your thread to be looping and bunching. And I tell you, it is the most common reason that I find that causes that problem. So give your machine a very good clean. Don't forget that you do need to take out the casing here and get all rounds in this part as well, because thread getting caught under here will cause looping and bunching too. That's clearing out your lint and fluff, but there is another very good reason which you may not have thought about, which is coming up right now. The final reason that we need to have a look at is our bobbin. Now, you may not have thought about this, but bobbins come in different sizes for different machines, and it is really important that we get the right size bobbin for our machine. But that doesn't mean just any old bobbin. It means we get the manufacturer's bobbin that is meant for our machine. If you've got that, that'll solve an awful lot of problems quite fast. Let me explain, because if I show you these side by side, you can see how different they are. Now, just as a little side note, historically machines have been all sorts of different shapes and sizes, and they have all had different bobbin sizes. There is a move in the industry to make sure that all the bobbins are the same size, but I don't think they are there yet. So we still have to make sure that we've got the correct size bobbin for our machine. This one here with the red thread, if I can get my words out, is for a brother machine, and it is an 11.5 millimeter bobbin. So it's really important that we check as well that we've got the right size, because I know that brother has a smaller size bobbin. This one is 11.5, and it just means the distance between the top and the bottom of the little spool of the bobbin is 11.5 mil. If I try and hold that to the camera, you can sort of see where that measurement is. Compare this one then to this bobbin, which on the surface might look the same, but if I measure it, we can see it is instantly a little bit narrower. So that's 8.5, 9 millimeters. Now, this particular bobbin is designed for my old machine, my very first electric machine that I had about 100 years ago, which was a silver machine, the brand Silver. And if I tried to put this one in my brother machine, it would not like it. The brother machine would throw all its toys out the pram and throw a complete paddy, and I'd get all those loopy threads. If I show you, if I put the purple, can you see how the one with the purple thread fits inside the proper brother bobbin with the red thread? It is definitely not created the same. It is a good quality bobbin, but is not meant for my machine, so I wouldn't use it in there. You need to make sure that you are using the correct bobbin for your machine, and use the one made by your manufacturer, because the other thing, it is really tempting to go and buy cheaper generic bobbins, and they kind of have the same problem because they're not designed and built for your machine, and your machine will complain about it. Now, this one is about the same size as my brother bobbin over here, but I can immediately feel it's chunkier. It doesn't feel right. Can you see it just looks slightly different as well? So my brother one curves down very slightly at the edges, and this metal one doesn't. I don't want you to use the generic or the cheaper and the generic bobbins in your machine. I know it's tempting because they are £2 or £3 or $2 or $3 cheaper, spend the extra little bit of money and get the quality bobbins that your manufacturer recommends for your machine. I do hope that has helped sort your bunching problem out or your looping problem out. If one of these solutions has worked for you, please pop a comment below and just let me know which one has worked. I'd love to hear from you. And if this video has helped, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I will love you and leave you for now, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.